to this big Royal Rumble weekend of top rope reality right here on the YouTube. I'm Mike Hogan.
And I'm Justin Kai.
And let's get started with Ringside News. And we got a big blockbuster here, folks.
Huge episode 89, part 1, Ringside News, big time stuff.
Hunter has done it again.
Again.
And it's not going to be shown until the 1st of March, but hey, wrestling websites let it out. Even WWE has let it out. So, guess what? We're not going to keep it under wraps.
That's right.
We're going to let it as well.
If WWE lets it out there, we're going to talk about it.
Former TNA champion Austin Aries has signed with NXT.
Yes.
Huge.
Huge. They have not given out, though, on WWE.com, what he did on the show. So we will not give that part out. But he is there. He came out to sign his contract. And we will go from there and see what happens when March comes around.
Yes.
It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. Also, in big-time news...
Hold on. Could he play a big part in TakeOver Dallas?
He could. Possibility. But in this next one, big-time stuff,
It is.
I'm happy for everybody involved.
Oh, yes.
This was AXS TV. AXS TV was the ones that had everything to do with this. New Japan did not have anything to do with negotiations. The guy from SmackDown now, Mario Renara, whatever his name is.
That sounds about close.
Close enough.
We're getting better.
Maro, whatever.
MR.
Yes. He left AXS TV, doing New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he went to SmackDown. Well, Jim Ross is not busy anymore, so they officially signed Jim Ross to be the lead announcer alongside Josh Barnett. For the New Japan Pro Wrestling TV series, that they basically what it is they get the Japanese show sent into them, and then they dub over with the English commentary.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that more than likely what they do is they get multiple weeks at one time, and then Jim Ross will sit there and do them all once, so that way he ain't gotta be there often.
Right.
So, but I'm happy with that.
I am too.
He knows
great news.
He knows the Japan product. He knows the people. So I think it's a fitting situation.
Yes, he can still go. He can still go.
He can.
I mean, if Vince don't like him because of what he is, or, I mean, age thing, I don't know what it is. Fine. I'm glad that JR has finally found something to do.
Right. This next one, I would like it.
You think it would be good?
I think it would be. I mean, well, Billy Gunn screwed up and he's gone, so why not replace him with another one that historically screws up?
If he could screw up, he'd be gone too.
But hopefully he's on the right path. Hopefully that he can stay on his recovery, path that he's got with DDP, and that is Scott Hall wanting to be a full-time NXT trainer.
Yeah, bringing his knowledge to NXT, which hey, is not a bad thing if he stays on the wagon.
If he stays away from that alcohol and the drugs and all the vices that he had to deal with, it would be great for him, and I think he'd be one of the good ones for like the promo class, since Dusty's not around anymore.
Oh yes, most definitely.
He'd be a very good one for that. We even saw him giving advice to Apollo Crews on the show on the network,
yes.
Breaking Ground.
Yes.
So he's already been there as a guest role. He's already been giving them advice, so he feels comfortable in that, and I think it would be a good spot for him to have.
I mean, like I said, if he stays on the wagon, he will have utmost knowledge for the young NXT wrestlers.
He would. And now we're moving on to TNA news.
A little bit of TNA news, yeah.
A little bit.
It's a good thing. I mean, it took a long way to get back to the situation where we started from.
Right.
But we're here. I mean, you probably know by now, Matt Hardy is the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes.
But you say, wait a minute now. Didn't EC3 just win the tournament to become the heavyweight champion? He did.
He did.
And 2 weeks later, now Matt is now the World Heavyweight Champion.
In a last man standing match.
Yes.
And Hardy turned...
I put my career on the line. Whenever you put your career on the line, you know you're not going anywhere.
Right.
You know it's not going to happen.
So Hardy apparently turned heel in the match. So they reversed roles at the end of the match. Or before,
and people, Tyrus went with...
And Tyrus just joined up with Hardy, which is very interesting because Tyrus also has a... title shot whenever he wants it. So it's like, why would you want, that big old goof with you when he's got a title shot? What if he just, takes you out, and takes a title shot, But very interesting though. I mean, I'm wondering where they're going with this. Like you said,
well, I know one place they're going with this.
To the garbage.
No, brother versus brother.
Oh, of course.
We're gonna have Geoff versus Matt for the title.
Like that hadn't happened 1,000 times already with them too. But I mean,
that's what they do better than what happened at WrestleMania that year.
Yes, that is very true. In the Extreme Rules match they had.
Yes.
Horrible. But sometimes just because you're brothers doesn't mean you have the best chemistry going against each other.
That's true.
You know, maybe sometimes you shouldn't fight each other.
No.
But right now, I mean, it's interesting. But I will say this: I was talking to you about this last night.
Yes.
TNA has gone up in the ratings. All 3 weeks they've been on there, and you know it's very interesting because they had to retape some of the stuff they already had when they moved networks, and because EC3 wasn't the original person to win that tournament, but they went back around, they moved all this stuff around, and now it's back to Matt Hardy. It's come full circle.
Yes.
But it's going to be very interesting because now you got some big names in the title picture. You got Matt Hardy, you got EC3, like you said, Jeff Hardy is coming back in there. And then on top of that, you got the Miracle, Mike Bennett, who has said that he is coming for the championship.
Only when Jeff or EC3 wins it back because he's a heel, so he can't get it right now.
Of course, but what I'm saying is now you've got four top guys to build off of right there. If they do it right. If they do it right.
Yes.
Speaking of TNA.
Yes, another one who they don't want to let go is Kurt Angle.
They ain't stupid.
Which,
well,
I mean,
kind of.
If Kurt knows he's pretty much done, and if he has a match or two left in him, and Vince doesn't want him, that's the best thing. Sign a Legends deal with TNA. Yes. Stay with them, in your career with them, teach young people.
He'd be
an ambassador,
the face of TNA and the ambassador. Kind of like what Hogan was doing when Hogan first
doing, and Hogan did.
But what Hogan first did when he came to TNA is that he was kind of the ambassador. Him and Dixie Carter side by side doing all the press conference stuff, which was good for them. They just kind of overdid it. They overexposed Hogan, and it was just too much. But working with the younger talent, that is a good thing. Being an ambassador is a good thing. Don't make it all about Kurt Angle, though. If he's not wrestling, don't make it all about him.
No, he shouldn't be brought up every week.
Not every week, no.
Sorry.
He could come in and make special decisions.
Or maybe not be on TV at all. Just be behind the scenes, go around, promote the product.
There you go. I mean, because that's
say you're part of the company. You ain't got to be on TV.
Right.
Or Kurt Angle. We're talking Kurt Angle.
Exactly.
There's Kurt Angle, our GM. No.
But he's one of those that is recognizable, even though TNA has had a hard time advertising. People still know who Kurt Angle is. You know, and
gold medalist.
So he could go around, and he needs to be doing interviews and stuff like that, putting them over. So, I mean, I think it would be good, and it'd be smart on TNA's part, because then Vince wouldn't be able to pick him up even if he wanted to. But if Vince doesn't want him, then this is the best thing for Kurt Angle to still have money coming in.
I mean, more power to him. I have nothing against Kurt Angle. If he signs with TNA, more power to you. I mean, you got to feed your family.
Exactly.
I mean, keep waiting for WWE to call back to have that one last shot in WWE.
And it may never happen.
So
this one's going to be funny, because this one, I hear this person supposedly is supposed to be in the Royal Rumble tonight, which is kind of like a Daniel Puder moment, ladies and gentlemen. If you remember Daniel Puder, he got in there and he got destroyed in the Royal Rumble. And it may happen. This may be a wasted spot, in my opinion, doing all this.
It is a wasted spot.
Just for a punishment.
Yes.
But they do say that a lot of the people from NXT are going to be behind the scenes, backstage. And you know they do that every year for the Royal Rumble. They bring people in and have a backstage just for he's backstage, is he going to be out? And he never comes out.
Yeah.
And it's just a way to mess with the people.
Know the people are standing watching that entrance, and they see who coming in, and they spot anybody.
Yeah. It's just to play with the crowd.
Which is good. Hey, that's free publicity, because people text it out. Hey, I just saw Jake Robertson coming in. I just saw some, anybody.
So obviously, hey, I just saw them, and I'm here at the event, so y'all need to get on the network and watch it. You know, he's going to be here. So it's a good thing to do that. But this is the Tough Enough winner, Josh, who was like Chewbacca, whatever he was.
Yeah, he was a Chewbacca caller.
He's got a different name now, something Bronson.
Matthew Bronson.
There you go. Which that name will definitely get over. Anyway, he caught so much heat on social media because he called the social outcast social jobbers, and that dig was completely a disrespectful remark, and that's what it was looked at by Kevin Owens, the social outcast, Stardust, and Kevin Owens went as far as to block the dude off of Twitter. Stardust said you're going to be dressing in the hallways, and the social outcast said, well, who is this guy? And they said it's the hairy dude from Harry and the Hendersons.
Yes, that's very funny.
So, you know, they're taking digs back at him. It's going to be very interesting. He may want out of his contract after tonight. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, you're fixing to learn the ropes there, dude.
Yes.
So.
And this was very sad news. This is when we did our, I believe he was on there when we did our jobber tournament.
He was on.
He was one of our main guys.
He was one of our main jobber.
This guy, he's a big-time Canadian superstar.
Yes.
He did a lot in Canada. In the WWE, this guy was a jobber to the stars. He was like the Brooklyn Brawler before Brooklyn Brawler really was doing his thing.
Yeah.
And apparently he was all about his forearm.
Yeah.
And the
had that injury for.
There you go. But unfortunately, we have to report here at Top Rope Reality that former WWE star Iron Mike Sharpe passed away at the age of 64.
Yes.
So we want to send our condolences to his family and his friends, and we are thinking of you in this hard times because that just came out of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
So,
there was no thing.
Yeah, we hadn't heard anything about him being sick or anything like that, and even Velvet McIntyre. You remember her?
Yes, I do.
I have her on Facebook, and she was talking about how the fact that he was always the straight edge. He didn't do he was always fit. He didn't do the whole drinking and the drugs and stuff. He was always real fit and everything. So she thought he'd be the last one to hear of, passing away at this age and stuff, But you never know. You could be fit all your life and die young.
That's right.
It's not all about being fit. There's other things that might come up that has nothing to do with fitness.
That's true.
So, but anyway, that's unfortunate, but we're going to move on from there.
But I've got a question for you.
You got a question for me?
I got a question for you, yes.
Okay.
Say you could pick one superstar. One superstar out of these four that you'd like to win their first world title.
Well,
Would it be Dean Ambrose, Kevin Owens, Bray Wyatt, or Finn Balor? Which of those four would you pick to win their first world title?
Interesting. And my pick would have to be Kevin Owens.
That's my pick as well.
Because I'm still on the bandwagon of Bray Wyatt doesn't have to have a belt. When it does happen, that'll be cool. Dean Ambrose, I like him, but they're putting him at that lower pedestal, and I'd like for him to get at a higher ranking. But realistically thinking, I could see Kevin Owens being in the world title picture much quicker than Dean Ambrose, just because of how they've been looking at the two of them.
Could be tonight.
Could be tonight. And Finn Balor, I think he's got a long way away, and just because he doesn't want to be on the main roster, so he's comfortable with the NXT belt. I'm comfortable with him having it.
I don't think he's coming with the NXT title, but
I'm just saying, maybe this guy right here might get a world title.
He
in
may.
2016. You just never know.
You never know. You never know how they're thinking.
One of the greatest world titles there is right now is on the around the waist of this guy right here, Jay Lethal.
The first generation superstar.
Yes, the greatest first generation superstar of all time. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's not always about who's got the belt, but sometimes the person makes the belt more important.
That's true.
And as much as they've been building up Jay Lethal with the television title, going into the World Heavyweight Championship, he's making that belt mean even more than it did before. It meant a lot, but now it means even more.
It's a good thing about Ring of Honor. They do not hot potato their titles.
They don't hot potato it, and they
not especially the world title. They do not.
Exactly. And they make the title mean something. Whoever has it, it's always going to mean something every time that person has it. But like I always say, we're getting better and better with this, so we're going right into the Winter Warriors tour that we were at. That's where we got the shirts at.
Road trip, baby.
Road trip. The Ring of Honor results last night, and what an event it was.
It was cold, but the event was hot in Hotlanta.
Yes, that is very true. In Bash Street, USA. Because it was flipping freezing.
Yes.
But thank goodness inside that building, it was nice and toasty because
nice.
These matches were, oh my goodness,
great matches. I mean, it was great.
Third row, ladies and gentlemen, and in the main event, we almost had to stand up for the entire match because everybody was on their feet. But ladies and gentlemen, getting started, there was a pre-show match with P-Dog. P-Dog, that's right, you heard me. Looked like a little miniature M&M. And I'm not talking about the chocolate candy.
No.
Taking on Matt Sales. And P-Dog won it with a top rope leg drop.
It was a top rope leg drop, it was.
I call it the dog drop. How about that? He dropped him like a...
And Matt Sales did what he's supposed to do.
And he sold. On the mat.
He did.
Very
good. For the lights.
Look good. But the first matchup of the evening...
Which will be available on DVD.
DVD and possibly TV. They said it possibly would be a TV taping. You just never know what's
going
to happen.
How they cut them and how they edit and cut them.
That's right. They may put them in there in different, different shows. But this first one, this guy right here, he has been on NXT lately. He's from Alabama, so he's a hometown boy for us.
Yep.
This guy named Corey Hollis, he came out and he fought Dalton Castle with the boys.
The boys. Dalton Castle with the boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the crowd was hot from the word go.
Yeah, they were.
Everybody loves Dalton Castle. The streamers were flying. And ladies and gentlemen, the flamboyantness of Dalton Castle was just too much for Corey Hollis. And Dalton Castle pulled out the victory and won this matchup, and it was a great matchup. Corey Hollis looked really good in this match.
Yes, he did.
And I thought for sure, I was like, hey, upset victory. There's a couple times where I thought, okay, Corey's going to win this.
Yes.
There was a couple times there.
You're never sure until the final 1, 2, 3 who was going to win this match.
Exactly. Most of these matches were like that at Ring of Honor, which is something I enjoy, which is something they got to get back to everywhere.
Yes. I mean, there's some that you can say, okay, you can leave about 75% to this guy or this girl. But I love it when you don't know.
Absolutely.
And up next was a tag team match. As the All Night Express, Rhett Titus and Kenny King took on the team of Cheeseburger and Moose. Moose. Moose.
And as they were chanting, Moose Burger.
They were chanting Moose Burger.
New tag team name.
Yes. Could be could be future tag team champions. If everything falls together.
Everything falls together, that is true.
Got the big strong man, the little small, fast.
And got to manager Stokely Hathaway.
But the winner of this match was the All Night Express, which, see, we were thinking Moose and Cheeseburger all the way.
All day long, because I thought Moose was going to hit that spear. It was going to be over with. 1, 2, 3. Never got the spear at all, ladies and gentlemen. And Cheeseburger lost it for the team. Stokely Hathaway didn't look too happy.
He did not look too happy. But it's growing pains.
That's
always growing pains.
Brand new tag team, so things happen.
I mean, he was hit with
better.
I felt like Cheeseburger hit with like 5 moves to pin him.
Yes.
I mean, hit, kick, punch, down. I mean, goodness gracious.
It was crazy.
It was crazy.
But All Night Express is moving up the ranks again now that Kenny King is back from TNA, where he belongs. In your third matchup, you had Mark Briscoe, them boys. Okay. Half of them boys taking on Cedric Alexander with Vanna Scott. And your winner in this, and again, we were wrong.
Yeah.
We predicted Mark Briscoe, ladies and gentlemen. We said one half of them boys is going to get over in this. He's going to win this match.
It's the Briscoe brothers. One half the Briscoe brothers.
Right. But ladies and gentlemen, it did not happen that way. And Cedric Alexander pulled out the victory in a hard-fought matchup.
Yes.
Very good match that went back and forth. And, I mean, there was many, many times where I thought it was over. And it was just a lot of good false finishes.
Not just every match. I mean, you're just thinking, and then a kick. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yes.
The whole night. Oh, amazing.
So, Cedric Alexander, young talent, getting the win over an established guy the way it ought to be done. WWE, pay attention.
Oh, yes. Up next was a 6-man
what a match.
Tag team match, and could possibly be the match of the night.
Yes.
On one side, you had ACH, Matt Sydal, and Alex Shelley taking on the Red Dragons and Michael Eglin. But, I mean, we were going, are they facing their heels? Are they facing their heels? And it's just back and forth. And 6 great athletes here put on one hell of a match.
They really did.
And in the winning of the match was ACH, Matt Sydal, and Alex Shelley. Barely.
Who you affectionately called them as AMA.
Yeah.
You renamed them AMA.
Yeah, you got Alex and ACH and
Exactly.
Matt, so.
Or you could do MAA. Ma.
Yes. Or AM.
True.
Am.
Yes, there's many different ways to do this, but yeah, they're establishing them as a legit 6-man tag, which that could go somewhere. Maybe a 6-man tag team championships. But anyway, up next was the women's matchup, which I thought was interesting. I thought they would have went straight from Cedric and Mark straight into the women's match because Veda was already out there. But they went with the 6-man, and then the 5th match of the night, you had Veda Scott taking on Amber Gallows, the Bullet Babe, in her Ring of Honor debut matchup.
Yes.
And very, very good match. They have not worked together at all before. And but it was okay. It was a decent match. There were some growing pains in it, and some communications here and there that
Oh, yeah.
But I mean that happens.
It does.
There were some things that happened in the men's matches where it was like,
and they wrestle a lot of times. So
right. And he meant to do that. And he meant to do that. I mean, you can kind of tell where they kind of hesitated sometimes. But all in all, though, the crowd was behind it. It was a good match. And it was a good debut for Amber Gallows, so maybe we'll see more of her in Ring of Honor because, right now they don't really have much of a women's division going on.
I mean, she had to cheat to beat.
She did. She got on those ropes. She put her legs on the second rope to win.
Yep.
But they still shook each other's hand. They still had respect.
Gotcha. I mean, that shows a lot of respect because she didn't feel confident she could beat her.
Right.
She had to cheat to beat her. So.
Exactly. And I have her on Facebook, and she did say that she likes Veda's style. So she was happy with the match. She was happy with her opponent. And next up, you got your 6-man mayhem.
6-man mayhem. Good gracious! I mean, this was like.
It was
everywhere. The 6-man was the match of the night. This one's like. I mean, they were like neck and neck. I mean, it's amazing because you had Adam Page, Frankie Kazarian, Will Ferrera, Silas Young, Caprice Coleman, and Jay Briscoe, the other brother of the Briscoe brothers.
That's right.
And they went back with him versus him. I mean, over the ropes, flipping, flopping, everything. I mean, it was just so much to keep up with. There's people in front of us kept standing up. We had to stand up. We sat down. And we stood up and down. I mean,
that's right.
The whole time. But Jay Briscoe gave the J driver to Will Ferrera.
Yep.
To win the match. And then he shook his hand and told him, hey, tonight was not your night. But you're going to go a long way.
Yeah, he said his night is coming very soon.
Oh, yeah.
So he gave Will the seal of approval. Unfortunately, then B.J. Whitmer had to get his nose in the business because Adam Page probably would have won the whole thing, but he did attack Adam Page during the match.
He was on commentary.
He was on commentary, and he threw Adam Page into the ring post. But he got in there, started doing a promo, but Adam Page got his comeuppance back on him and attacked B.J. Whitmer, and even Steve Corino came out and threw B.J. Whitmer back into the ring to make sure that he got his comeuppance.
Yep.
So a very good match and a very good segment. And then we have our 7th match with Adam Cole, baby, taking on Stevie Richards.
Yes.
And they looked like twin brothers. They had long hair and red tights with gold. It was very interesting.
Oh, yes.
But your winner of that match was Adam Cole. Very good match. Everybody was enjoying it. A lot of fan interaction on this one, and they were about to be in the 3rd and 4th row.
They were
throwing everybody into the barricades.
They were flying everywhere.
They really were.
And the main event was an 8-man tag team match. As you had all the champions, Ring of Honor champions on one side, you had War Machine, the tag team champions, Roderick Strong, the television champion, and of course Jay Lethal, the World Heavyweight Champion, taking on the Bullet Club of Carl Anderson, Doc Gallows, and the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson. And in a hard-fought victory where all the titles were on the line.
Yes, every belt.
Every belt was on the line. You didn't know who was going to pick up the victory. I mean, you had bodies flying outside, into the guardrails, into the post, over the ropes. I mean, everywhere. It was hard to keep up with all the action, all these people around here. But the champions came away with a victory.
It's being, I believe they pinned Carl
They
Anderson.
did pin Carl Anderson.
Yes, one of the War Machine guys pinned Carl
Yes.
Anderson. So, very good matchup, and then we got a wonderful send off for AJ Styles at the end of the show, and they did a whole curtain call and everything. So it was a very nice show, and it was very cool to be there for AJ Styles' last appearance in Ring of Honor. I wonder where he's going.
Where could he be?
Where?
Where could he be? Could he be in? Could he be in sunny Florida today?
You never know.
I wonder.
But that's going to be it for part 1 Ringside News. Up next is Royal Rumble pay-per-view review 13, 14, and 15.
Just rolling out the last 3 here, folks.
Exactly. So we will see you in just a moment for part 2.
So come on right back here to Top Row Reality. I'm Mike Hogan.
And I'm just a guy.
We'll see you in a few clicks.